Hey, what's going on? This is Tea Time True Crime with Katie. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Right now I have a kitty cat in my arms. So today's case is a high profile case, which is something I normally do not do. But for it being high profile, a lot of my friends, even my hubby, never heard of this case. Since the Super Bowl is not that far away, I thought this true crime story is relevant. I'm going to be talking about Ray Carruth. Now, he was a football player and pretty much a narcissist still, and also a coward. But my main focus is on Cherica Adams. Cherica Adams was only 24 years old when her life was taken. And this is her story. Didn't mean to psych you out, you guys, but I am having a giveaway at the end of this month. Right now it is, tomorrow is February 1st. At the end of February, I'm giving away crystals, perhaps nails. And for the gentleman, I'm thinking of some type of cologne. All you do, guys, is have to subscribe to my channel, tell all your friends, and the most subscribers I have, the bigger the giveaway, okay? So definitely check that out. I really appreciate it. And those who have subscribed, it means so much to me. Thank you so much, because with you listening or watching, you are the voice for the voiceless as well. Excuse me. I get hiccups when I get nervous. I'm nervous every podcast because I want to do this story right. I want to give the person who cannot talk about what happened to them, that are no longer here on this world, to give them justice. All right. So Ray Carruth was born in California, and he was born in not a very nice part of California. He actually was known for gang affiliations and stuff like that. But Ray never drank or smoked or did anything like that. He just really focused on his goals. Now, he wasn't the smartest, actually. He had a very low GPA and he almost got kicked off of football. But his mother, who worked at Costco at the time, took her son on a very, very hot day and made him move carts all day, and kept saying, if you don't get your studies up, this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Well, that smartened him up, and his GPA went from a 2.1 all the way to a 3.2, which means he could get scholarships and stuff like that for football. He ended up, his prime time year was his rookie year, and he played for the Carolina Panthers. Ray was also to be kind. People really did like him. His team players said that he was actually on the quiet side, and that he really focused on his studies, and he did not really do the party life at all. He was really focused on wanting to be famous. Well, Ray, you got your wish. So Ray Carruth is just, he was born January 20th, 1974, which makes him a Capricorn. Like I said, he was from California. His dad isn't very much talked about in podcasts and stuff, but his mother is very loving, and she was the kind of mother that supported her son all the way, even until that she really, really believed, even to this day, of his innocence. So spoiler alert, no matter what you think of the crime, Ray Carruth is out. He is out of prison. He actually got out October 22nd in 2018. All right, a little bit of Ray. He was a wide receiver, Carolina Panthers. He was only 5'11", 195 pounds, I believe. So he was a kind of small dude, but he was fast. People thought he ran track. He was really, really fast on the field. And that was what he was known for. He actually was a first draft pick. Now, even though Ray wasn't really into drugs or alcohol and stuff like that, he was into women. Yes, he was very much into women. People say not to portray him as like a Lothario, but my research says exactly that. He may have been dating 3 women at once. He actually had a high school girlfriend that got pregnant and had his child, Michelle Wright. And he had to pay, the courts made him pay like $6,000 a month, but he went over to Michelle and talked to her and said, listen, I'll be more into my son's life. This is just too much money. So she got it down to like half, like almost $3,000 a month. But he did not follow his promise at all. She was in Colorado. He went to North Carolina. He also saw another woman who actually, her name is Amber Turner, and they actually had some kind of sexual relationship. Now, Amber Turner got pregnant, yes, but sadly, as soon as Ray found out and she told him, he was really, really upset, and he threatened her life. Like, he threatened that someone was going to kill her if she had the baby. So she was very scared, and she did terminate the child. Now, if you Google and watch the court case, it's unreal. Now, the mother, I believe, of Amber Turner, she was a witness against Ray during this trial. Ray actually, it was weird. He was like sitting there watching the witness. After Amber Turner was talking against Ray, her own mother was going against her own daughter and basically saying that this is the first time I've heard of Ray, doing this to my daughter. And she basically didn't believe her. She was not on her daughter's side. And in fact, when the mother got off the stand, she literally mouthed to Ray, I love you. Yeah. And it's on air, and I saw it. And his smirk, I'm like, what did he have? Like this, he had like a spell on women. I don't know if he had a phallic of gold or something. Who knows? But women did flock to Ray. Now, Ray was sort of a ladies' man, but again, a friend of his that he's known for over 20 years who actually tried to get him to escape. Yeah. She claimed that he was not a ladies' man, but it was just his personality. That is just how he portrayed himself as a wannabe bad guy. Now I'm going to talk about this amazing woman, Cherica Adams. Cherica actually got her name because her mother, when she gave birth to her, her mother was 17 years old. And her mother loved the show Sonny and Cher. And she just wanted to name her daughter Cher. But she thought, no, that's not enough. And then she saw the Eureka vacuum commercial. And she thought Eureka had a nice ring to it. But she didn't want to just name her daughter Eureka because she didn't want her daughter associated with like cleaning, dirt, and stuff like that. Which I think, yep, that's definitely fair. So she put the two names together, Cherica. And she was, I wouldn't say a force to be reckoned with, because when I say that, or when people hear that, they come off as like a bitch. Let's just be honest. And I do not like that derogatory word towards women. I don't know why. It just like sets me off. And I feel like it would set any woman off by being called that word. But when I say a force to be reckoned with of Cherica, I want to say not only like when you look at her, like, God dang, she's beautiful, beautiful woman. This amazing infectious smile, beautiful skin, like these beautiful bright eyes. She was a very caring person. She was raised to be independent. Yes, she went to college for communications, and then she realized the college life wasn't for her. So she left after 3 years. She's living in North Carolina because that's where she's born. And then she runs into Ray Carruth at a pool party. And there must have been something about Ray, because that very same day, she brought Ray over to meet her dad. So definitely sparks were flying. But Ray is very busy in his football career, and they see each other a few times. With his wording and writing, he says that they only had sex like 5 times. And then it was just a hookup, and there was no love. It was just pure lust. Well, I'll get into that because I feel like that is mad false. So basically, Cherica and Ray get along. Cherica did drop out. I don't like to say drop out, but she left college and she became a realtor. And she just had that bomb personality and could sell, and just people loved being around her. And then she had this opportunity to go dance at a club. Yes, the word stripper. She did strip off her clothes for money. But as the way she would talk about it, she told her mother that it was actually a pretty classy joint, believe it or not. The men were not allowed to touch the women at all. And Cherica had a plan. She made some money, okay? She made some dollar bill. Now, I don't think dollar bills like Benjamins. She made a lot of money. So much, in fact, that her mom, I don't know if it was a joke or not, but she mentioned that, hey, do they have like a mom amateur night or something like that? You know, for her to get into that kind of money. Cherica always wanted a family and a husband, and she wanted to buy her own home. So she was saving up. Now, time went by before her and Ray like hooked up, okay? It happens, life happens. But then he actually sees her at the club while she was dancing, and let me tell you, he was not happy, like at all. So even though Ray was really upset with her being a dancer, he kept seeing Cherica. And things happen when you do not have protection or what have you. Cherica got pregnant, and Cherica was so excited, like beyond excited. She actually took her mother out to breakfast and said, listen, Mom, I got like the best Mother's Day present ever. And she was so excited, and she was just saying that you're going to be a grandma. And her mother, Sandra, did not believe it. She's like, wait, what? And Cherica told Ray she was really, really excited, but sadly, you guys, he did not feel the same way. He really was very, very upset. And from time and time again, apparently, like, he wants children aborted because, hey, if I'm not going to be with you for a long period of time, I don't want you to have my child. Which I'm thinking, okay, that's a really horrible thing to say. But pretty much that's how he basically talked about Cherica, and, you know, I'm not going to have a child by no stripper or whatever. So, yeah, I know. He sounds really nice. So, Cherica is the kind of woman that is like, I don't care what you think. I'm going to have this baby. Okay? And then Ray basically made a plan. He made a plan, you guys. He wanted to not have any more child payments. Yeah. You know, child support payments. So he enlisted help of friends to beat up Cherica. And one of the guys, his name was Van Brett Watkins, and he was a hired hitman. He actually was the bouncer at the club. I believe it's where Cherica worked at. I keep hearing different things about that. I don't know if it was the exact club, you guys, but it makes sense, though, because they all kind of knew each other. But one thing I do know was Van Brett Watkins. He was a bouncer, and he was a known hitman. Apparently, he, like, killed 4 people, and he has been in prison for gun possession and just, like, not a good dude. You know what I'm saying? So Ray basically was talking about like how pissed off he was about, you know, Cherica wanting to have this baby. But it's definitely stress in Ray's world because his best year, you guys, was when he was a rookie, right? And he broke his foot and he got injured. So he wasn't making as much money. So he was scared that his football career was like in the dust, but yet he gets another girl pregnant and he's like, how can I afford this? And he already spent a lot of money. He bought a house, he had 2 vehicles. So, yeah, it's not really stability, especially if you get hurt. But nonetheless, Cherica wasn't hearing it. She wants her baby. And she, like I said, she was the kind of woman that sadly seemed to go in her mother's footsteps, because when Cherica was born, her mother was a single mother as well. So, yeah. So this Van Brett Watkins was hired to go and beat up Cherica. But Van Brett Watkins, which, again, they call him New York, because he did his crime in New York, and I believe he was from Brooklyn. So I'll call him New York. So New York basically told Ray, I don't beat up women, which sounds like a sweetheart, I know, but he was not. He's actually a stone cold killer. And when Ray put out more money, they made the plan to go and, get rid of the baby. Now, I'm going to go back and honor Cherica's name, because when I watch other TV spots or hear other podcasts, it's like, it sounded like a friends with benefits, honestly, but the way he just sounded, that we didn't even like each other, we didn't even love each other, it was all lust. And I'm like, all right, man, if it was literally all lust, why did you buy her a cell phone? Because in 1999, a cell phone was not prevalent how it is now. It was a very big deal back then. So she had a pager, but he always wanted to get a hold of her, like when he was in town and stuff, and to meet up. So he bought her a cell phone. So I don't know if it was love or not. I don't want to say that, because we do have people still alive here. But I feel like it was a friends with benefits. Let's just say that, because the way he talks about her is like disgusting. Because I was like, dude, she is not just a stripper. She was a real estate agent, and she did go to school, and she was so kind. I believe one of the dancers she worked with, you guys, really had a drug problem and had a young son. Well, Cherica moved them into her home. So like Cherica's mother would help take care of the son, and that girl has been off drugs for many, many, many years. And Cherica just had a very big heart, and she would help anybody. And I really want her to be known for that. I don't want her to be known for as a gold digger or just it made me sick when I read some of the things. I'm like, no, Cherica sounds bomb. June 30th, she was born June 30th, 1975, which makes her a Cancer. So a Cancer, yeah. They are like the ultimate partners. They want to settle down. They want stability. They want children. So I feel like Ray knew what he was getting into, but he just did not wrap it. You know what I'm saying? So he starts going, when he goes to Lamaze class with her, and Cherica is really, really excited because he invited her out to the movies, to the movie The Bone Collector. Do you guys remember that movie? Starring Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. Yeah. It's literally about a murder mystery, finding a killer, a serial killer. So that's really bleak, because what happens to her after that movie is something out of nightmares. Absolutely. Now, Van Brett Watkins, 4 months, you guys, 4 months have been trying to find the opportunity. Ray is like, how about you jump her outside of a restaurant, beat her up until she loses the baby. Yeah, I know, this guy is cold, just cold. And but then, he was just saying, like, Ray, it's gonna come back to you, right? Like, when this is done, it's gonna come back to you. And Ray was just, I feel like he was just so cocky and just too confident that just cocky, it's another word, that nothing would happen to him. And finally, Ray did pay him, but Van Watkins, New York actually couldn't get himself to do it. He couldn't. I mean, he's killed before, but he just thought a pregnant woman was just like, I'm guessing like fucked up, which it is. Like, I mean, it is. It's really, really sad. But one day he did do it. And that is why I'm talking about her today. After the movie, The Bone Collector, they start driving home. And they decided to have different plans the next day. But what was really weird, before they went to the movie, she actually called her mom. And was really, really excited about the date. Because Ray was wanting to, like, she was excited because Ray wanted to date her again. It wasn't just like hookups. Because he explains that they never went anywhere out together. They just like hooked up or whatever. But when he said, you know, I want to start dating you, I want to take you out to the movies, she spent all day trying to find the right outfit, do her hair. I mean, it was really cute when I heard that. Like, her mom just said all day she was just trying to figure out, you know, she was just so happy that Ray wanted to be a family and wanted to be serious. But, you know, that was completely false. That was absolutely false. It was definitely a ruse. So when she gets to his house, so they both like can drive to the movies to see the you know, like the Bone Collector, she notices there's people in the home, like kind of friends, kind of. And she got really annoyed because she thought that it would just be them. She thought that they were, hey man, like, what's going on? We're going out on a date. Why are these people here? And he would be on the phone, and she thought he was with, you know, talking to another woman, because this guy. Okay. So she gets kind of aggravated, and she's trying to leave, and he's like, no. He's like, don't leave. He's like, we're going. He's like, I just had to, you know, get some self straight. That's all. And, you know, they go and see the movie. She's looking beautiful, you know, 8 months pregnant. And they make a plan to go to separate vehicles because Ray wants to go to her house for some reason. I don't know. There's like two different things. But the fact is that it was not true, you guys. It was a ruse. Because the only reason why Ray wanted them in different cars was so the hitman can do his business. So as they're driving and she is behind Ray is driving, like, I think a white Expedition, and she has a black BMW, and she's driving behind him. Now, out of nowhere, when they get to like a dark road, there is not even a stop sign. Okay, Ray is not even stopping at a stop sign. And the irony is that Ray, actually, this all happened on Ray Road in North Carolina. So like, wow, dude, did you really have to have it your name? Like, come on. Anyway. So what they do is they stop, and, you know, she is very confused, like, what is happening? And then this car pulls up beside them, and then the window goes down, and there is a gun. I think it's like a .357 Magnum, and bang, 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 bang. Oh, chills. Man, when the guy was describing the bangs, I was like, oh my gosh. He shot into the vehicle 5 times, but the bullets hit Cherica 4 times, and they drove away. Now, as this is happening, you would think that Ray would get out of the car, help her. No, he looks at her from his rear view mirror, and apparently he smiles. Who knows? But that's what they say, that he literally looked at her, bleeding out profusely and in so much pain, and then he drove away. Yeah, coward. And he left. He split. Cherica, like I said, was only 24 years old. She was 8 months pregnant. She already named her child Chancellor Lee Adams. And she literally, you guys, would have done anything for her baby. Like, this is an incredible story. So she shot, and the cell phone that actually Ray got her to hook up with her, okay, she got that cell phone and called 911. This is 1999. That's very rare to have a cell phone. And this poor woman literally is on the phone for 12 minutes. Ambulance is trying to look for her because this is before GPS, okay? So she actually drives to like the nearest neighbor's house to find like an address to tell where the ambulance should be. And she stayed alive, even though she was profusely bleeding. The guns, guys, the bullets, they pierced her stomach, her spleen, her pancreas, her small and large intestines. She even lost 6 liters of blood. Yeah. It's insane how far she has survived, but she stayed awake and lucid and said on the 911 call that Ray Carruth, number 89, my baby daddy, and she basically said he did the crime. Like, she just said, I was with him, and they're like, well, where is he? And she's like, he left. You can hear the moaning. I can hear the gurgling. It was just so, so sad. But she wanted more than anything to save her baby. So like I said, it took 12 minutes. And I believe within an hour, she gave birth to her son, Chancellor, who was premature. I believe it was like, 8 weeks premature, something like that. No, it's like a month premature. She was 8 months pregnant. So it was like 4 weeks premature. He was only like 3 pounds. But when she was bleeding out so bad, she had lack of oxygen to the baby. So when she gave birth to the baby, they did a C-section, a cesarean. And what happened was, because of the lack of blood, made the lack of oxygen to the brain, her son, Chancellor, he has cerebral palsy. I know. And it's bad, guys. Like, this cute kid, oh my gosh. Basically, what every day that we may take for granted that we do on a daily basis, you guys, he has to work so much harder to do those things. Yeah. I watched a video on him and I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, I'm just bawling because he is just not only adorable and sweet, but my God, he is so strong. Like, he definitely has Ray Carruth's genes. He's athletic looking. They look alike. And he strives very hard. And his grandma, Sandra, who has been raising him this whole time, because sadly, you guys, Cherica did not survive. I know. She gave birth to her son, and then she was awake like a few hours after that. The police were there. And she literally couldn't talk because she had tubes in her throat. So she wrote down what happened on a piece of paper. And then she went to sleep. And sadly, she did not wake back up. Her mother pulled off life support 4 weeks later. And the mother was really upset because she went into a coma. And I think it was like a month later that she pulled the plug, per se. Now, before she let her daughter go, she put her son, her newborn baby, Chancellor, on her chest. And Sandra said that the heart monitor moved up and down really fast, like she felt her son. And then when she looked at her daughter to say goodbye, one tear fell out of her eye. I know. I couldn't believe I found the information. I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. Like, it's just a waste. Cherica, she suffered so much. Like, can you imagine that pain, you guys? Like, that's worse than a stabbing, okay? I mean, she just kept on bleeding, but she literally stayed alive for her son to be born. The biggest evidence in this case, it was wild. It was 4 years after the O.J. Simpson trial. So there was a lot of tension, of course, in football. So the way Ray talks about it and what his lawyer says is that the hitman is lying and that they killed Cherica in retaliation for like a drug deal gone wrong. Apparently, Ray did not have the money for this marijuana, but that makes no sense because even the hitman, who scared the jury, by the way, like, he was kind of scary. I'll give you that. I mean, he talked about killing people, like ripping off a rag doll, like saying that he didn't even have to have a gun to kill anybody. He could just do it with his bare hands. And I was like, holy crap, dude, this is serious. Scared the jurors half to death. That's probably why he got the sentence that he got. So, yeah, Ray was basically saying the hitman was a liar and that, you know, he did not pay him to kill his girlfriend. It was just, you know, me hanging around with the wrong people, you know, some BS. But you had actual witnesses, and you also had his exes actually say things like, you know, I'll kill you if you have my my baby, my baby, you know, if you have my baby, I will kill you. And man, so after that happened, the shooting, let's go back. Sandra is calling Ray because she knows they're together and it's a thing, but Ray is not picking up the phone. This mofo, he literally shows up at the hospital with like an entourage, including another woman in his arm. Yeah, this guy had brass balls, you guys, just freaking brass. And the mother said that she knew Ray had something to do with it. In the beginning, it didn't cross her mind, but then when she was calling him and it kept ringing and ringing and ringing, she was like, oh my God, Ray had something to do with shooting my daughter. And, you know, she was right. So that happened. And, you know, before all that, she was like, do you want to hold your son? And he's like, no, I don't want to hold him. But he wanted a picture, you know, with tubes and stuff all in him. I think because he thought that, you know, Chancellor wouldn't survive. So he didn't want to hold him. Yeah. Okay. But guess what? Chancellor did survive. He pulled through and he's alive today. So, okay. After that happened, police were called because their witness was the 911 phone call of Cherica and also what she wrote on the piece of paper. Even though on the piece of paper they said, does Ray Carruth have something to do with this? She put like a question mark. You know, she was very out of it. I can't imagine what she went through, poor thing. I cannot imagine. So, yeah. So what happened after that was that, you know, the police were called and they go and arrest Ray, and he is naked when they find him with another woman. Shocker. Yeah. I mean, the police were like, you got to be kidding me. They couldn't believe it. But they brought him in, and he had a $3 million bond, and he paid it. And then he went to his best friend, which is, yeah, we're not going to say who she is, 'cause she also turned him in at the same time. So there was a person, I think her name was, oh my God, is it Michelle Cole? Michelle? Oh, I could be wrong. Excuse me. Wendy Cole. Sorry about that, guys. I was close. Wendy Cole, actually, you know, he went to her and he wanted to run away because, you know, he's a coward. So he went to Wendy Cole and was like, I need you to take me here. So she hid him in the back of a trunk of a car. And he's kind of tall. He's like 5'11". So he was like in the fetal position. But Wendy had a conscience. So at the hotel she was at, she called the FBI or the mother, and then she called the FBI, somebody, but she did narc. She totally did, because they found him. The police went to her and they're like, where is he, Wendy? Where is he? And all she had to do was look at her keys and they knew he's in the trunk. So when they found this coward, He was in a fetal position, had 2 water bottles full of urine. He had energy bars. Yeah, he was in that trunk for 500 miles. So when they arrested him, he couldn't even move his legs. Yeah, the defense was a famous defense attorney who actually was the same defense attorney as not Scott Peterson. Oh my goodness, I freaking spaced out on his name, guys. It's the one who did the Netflix documentary for The Staircase. That was the same lawyer. Yes, I remember the woman. Her name was Catherine, and we to this day do not know if he pushed her down the stairs, like hit her in the head, pushed her down the stairs, or if she got attacked by an owl and fell down the stairs. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. You know what I think. Well, I think he did it. Absolutely. That guy. Michael Peterson. Thank you. I think that's him. Michael Peterson. But I'm here to talk about Cherica. So, Cherica's gone, but her son still lives. Now, the courts believed, all the juries wanted to give Ray the death penalty and first-degree murder, but one juror would not agree, because that one juror, he got, I believe, second-degree murder. So Ray actually got 19 to 24 years in prison, but like I said, guys, he is out. He served his full 19 years. He got out in 2018. Van Brett Watkins, it's January 2024. Last month, before it turned 2024, New York, the hitman, he died in prison. He was sentenced up to 50 years. And man, he was not happy about that sentence. He was like yelling at Ray, like, are you happy now? Are you happy now? But, New York knew something was going to be weird with the hit. He didn't want to do it, and he didn't want to shoot the baby. He did not. Yeah. I know, it's wild. So what that means, guys, is that Chance, now they call him Chance, Chancellor is 24 years old, right? No, 23. But when Cherica was taken away from this world, she was only 24 years old. So New York was in prison for 24 years, and then he died of natural causes. I mean, is that karma? The driver, remember I said friends, I believe it's Michael Kennedy. He received 11 years in prison. And Abraham, who didn't even want to be there, he thought he was just hanging out with his friends apparently, got like a year in prison, a year, 2 years, something like that. He tried to leave apparently when they found out what they were there for. He was like, drop me off, man. I'm not doing this. I don't want any part of this. But he was scared to death of New York. And he was there. Everyone had a chance to stop it, I feel, but no one did. But Cherica and her strong-willed self called 911, told him what was up, and stayed alive for a C-section. And then only held her baby one time, and then she fell asleep. And then she, like I said, she never woke up. So yeah, you have this evidence basically of Cherica. That was the highest evidence they had at the trial, was the 911 call. So I just think that's ironic where he got her the phone to hook up apparently, okay, but it ended up being his downfall, which that's poetic justice right there. I freaking love that. Yeah. As I said before, Ray is out. He lives in Philly right now, and he actually tried to get custody of Chancellor. Oh yeah, this motherfucker. I know. Sandra was going to give him the benefit of a doubt, but I believe she's very, very scared. He did send money first time to his child when he got out of prison, which was nice. But, Ray was basically talking about the best thing for Chancellor, and it's just like he didn't seem, he seemed remorseful, but he didn't. He was still very prideful and cocky. You killed Chancellor's mother. You made Chancellor how he is. Poor Chance suffers every single day, but you can't tell that because he has this beautiful smile on his face. But he does get frustrated like you and me. But what frustrates him is something that you and I can simply do. And simple things as feed ourselves. We walk around, just like watching that. I was just bawling because not that I felt like sorry. I just couldn't believe like how strong this kid was. And, when the grandmother would talk about his mom, he would be like, he said, angel. And when he said like his mom's an angel, I lost it, guys. I was like, oh, just tears. Like, oh my goodness. Sandra did not tell her grandson exactly what happened to his mother. She just said something like, your dad did a very, very bad thing and he went away for a long time. So, I'm not sure about that relationship. He was, like I said, Ray was trying to get custody of his son, but then, man, social media had an uproar. Holy moly, I don't know where I was, but I was reading everything from like 2018 and so on. And they were like, you're out of your damn mind. Like, you don't deserve the air you breathe. Like, people were, they did not want him out at all. But he is. That's the way it goes. Nothing we can do. He served his time. So, but then he, changed his mind and did not ask for custody. So, I'm hoping maybe he can talk to his son, but then a part of me is like, are you out your damn mind? You don't deserve to even be in this earth. I'm sorry. Like, I've heard about this so many times where guys get so mad when girls get pregnant. I'm like, don't you know how that happens? Don't, when you're not like protecting yourself, what do you think is going to happen? Some people are fertile myrtle, like, goodness. Sandra did say that, Cherica had a boyfriend before Carruth and she did get an abortion and it was absolutely horrible for her and she regretted it. And she said to herself, if I get pregnant again, I am having this baby. This baby is going to be okay. I'm going to, So I definitely see where the determination went. I don't think it was for Carruth and his money. I don't think that at all. I think Cherica was a bomb-ass queen that treated people right, and she just mixed up with a player, a Lothario. It sucks because, like, Capricorns. I love my Capricorns. You guys know I love my Capricorns. But, like, not everyone is good and not everyone is bad, but you get it. So, what do you guys think? I don't know. I remember hearing this when I was a little girl because it was a huge deal. Because I lived in North Carolina when I was a kid, and my sister, her favorite team, even to this day, is the Carolina Panthers. So the Carruth thing was a really big deal. But as a kid, my parents wouldn't say what happened. I remember my dad would be like, oh, he was not a nice guy. He's mean. He did a very bad thing, like, until I looked more into it, and I've had a dream about Cherica for a few days now. So I wasn't going to do this podcast, but I feel like she was like, please do my name right. Please talk about my son. Please, make sure that he gets the best care. He's taken care of. And yeah, Cherica, I really hope that your loved ones, are healing. And I pray nothing but good vibes to you and your family and also the loved ones involved in this case, because even Ray's mom gets a lot of crap. But also Ray's mom, she just doesn't want to believe her son did anything like that. She's that kind of a mom. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get too mad at her. I commend her for loving her son unconditionally, but Ray did have his own actions. And the irony is that he wanted to kill the baby. which is horrible. The baby ended up being alive, but killed the mother. Yeah. So I think that is, like I said, pretty wild. But yeah, sorry. Let me know what you guys think about this story. I know I ramble on, but this is like my tea party. Sorry, I drank like half the tea already. Maybe that's why I'm... Yes, my favorite. This is green tea with lemon and my favorite Sundance mug. This is my favorite mug in the world. I love it so much. But thank you guys for checking me out. Definitely check out the giveaway. Please know that you are loved and you are cherished. And remember, you're doing better than you think.